violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
The man who police say walked into the Duncanville fieldhouse Monday morning with a gun was a convicted felon. Police identified him as 42-year-old Brandon Keith Ned. They say he confronted an employee in the lobby, fired a shot, then fired a second shot into a classroom full of kids. He was killed after police exchanged gunfire with him in the gym.
Wow. And this could have been a Uvalde situation. I mean, it's getting wicked out here, y'all. Gotta watch your back. Scary to leave your kids anywhere. You see this woman frantically holding on to her daughter. Rightfully so. Because this super gremlin wants to go into a summer camp and shoot the thing up. Like, I don't get what's going on right now. It's a different day and age, y'all, for real. These super gremlins are on demon time.
To a classroom full of kids. He was killed after police exchanged gunfire with him in the gym, terrifying parents and children.
Detrimental, scary. I thought the worst. My daughter called me for me to pick her up because he was saying when someone was shooting.
The investigation now centers around why a felon who isn't supposed to have a firearm had a...
Oh, wow. So the gun laws didn't keep him from getting a gun? Interesting. I mean, this is a prime example, okay, of how these laws are essentially ineffective. You know, convicted felon, not supposed to have a gun. But it's so easy to get a gun. Like, I could cop a gun from my homeboy. I could cop a gun. Like, you can buy guns off anybody. And people are willing to sell it for the right price, especially if you want it that bad. But most of the time, you can get it for the low. Okay, you can get a little high point for like $175 and be out here. Okay, so I don't think the politicians really understand how this game goes, and if they did, they would know that the only way to solve this issue is stop releasing people early and stop releasing violent felons who are terrorizing the city over and over again. It makes no sense.
A handgun and why he went into the field house full of children attending a summer camp.
We was so scared, what would happen.
According to court documents, Ned pled guilty in 2011 to intoxication manslaughter. His blood alcohol level was 0.126.
Dang. So he just straight drunk.
The affidavit states he knowingly operated a motor vehicle while intoxicated at a high rate of speed, causing a collision that killed the passenger in his car. He spent 2 years in prison and was released. Sources say
2 years. He caught a body drunk driving and he spent 2 years in prison. That's insane, y'all. And then he just escalate to shooting up a summer camp? What is this?
He possibly knew someone in the field house. It's the second time there has been a shooting at that same field house in the last several years. The former police chief says they've tried to enhance security.
We've had the active shooter training that's conducted by our police staff. We have surveillance cameras that we've installed. I personally did an security assessment of that facility back several years ago.
City leaders have commended the police department for responding so quickly to the scene and stopping the threat. But there are questions if more could have been done to prevent the gunman from getting that far into the field house.
I mean, what else could you have done? Seriously. What else could you have done to stop this than what the officers already did? Okay, they responded quickly, unlike in Uvalde, and they neutralized the super gremlin on demon time.
In Duncanville, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
It's gun shooting. Like, I was so scared right now.
8-year-old Trinia Somerville was one of the hundreds of students who was inside of the Duncanville field house when a man with a gun entered the building.
One of the counselors told me they broke the glass and came in.
That counselor and other coaches are being credited for saving the children on Monday morning.
Coach Pearson cared for these kids, and he kept every kid safe. He made sure he transported every kid here. He took them from the facility and brought them to safety.
And they talking about defunding the police, man. This is a prime example of how good guys with weapons always win against the bad guys with guns, man. It really is plain and simple. You know, we had a time period where we was just stomping on the police neck. They felt the pressure. I think it's time to give that up, y'all. Communita, it's about time to give it up. Because they felt the pressure. They was like, oh, okay, we can't just, just be shooting randomly, even though a lot of these shootings were justified. But now it's time to stop the handcuffing of the police. It's time to stop, doing all the crazy chanting and whatnot, burning stuff down. Because they doing their job, man, or at least they trying. And y'all already know these are different times, so a super villain in general just pops up damn near every day.
Duncanville police identify the shooter as 42-year-old Keith Brandon Ned. This is a mugshot of Ned from a 2011 arrest for intoxication manslaughter. Police say Ned walked into the main building and had a conversation with a staff member and managed to shoot into a classroom packed with children. Moments later, police say he ran to the gym where there were kids, and by that time, police shot and killed him.
Nice.
I spoke to a source with the Texas
She cold. God dang, she.
Okay. DPS who tells us right now investigators are talking to employees from the field house, making sure the story adds up. Right now, authorities don't have a motive. Along with the Duncanville Police Department and the Texas Rangers, the investigation continues.
And 24 hours later, at the Duncanville Rec Center down the road, many kids from yesterday showed up to camp here.
I wasn't supposed to be coming today because I didn't want to come because of what happened.
But Trinia is happy she did because officers were on hand cheering kids up.
Fill yourself with joy. The police officers like Duncanville, they'll help you no matter what.
You heard what that little girl said? And she's so cute. She said, they'll help you no matter what. Even if you saying defund the police, F the police, fry the pigs, they gonna help you no matter what. Okay, y'all know how many lives they saved. Give it up for the police, man. Come on, one time. Can we do it one time?
She did because officers were on hand cheering kids up.
Fill yourself with joy. The police officers like Duncanville, they'll help you no matter what.
In Duncanville, I'm Malini Basu.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Medgar Evers, and it's a very tranquil scene compared to just a couple hours ago where a drive-by shooting
just took place. Excuse me. I'm getting live updates as we speak. I've just been updated to the amount of casualties from this drive-by shooting, and I'm getting reports that 2 people were actually declared deceased and 27 others were shot and injured but are in stable condition. And although we must pray for the families of the fallen, we must also praise God for the aim of the super gremlin. If you want to know more about the victims of this crime, make sure you add BGZM News 17 on Patreon at www.patreon.com/blackgenzmindset. Also, don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and comment on the video to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this gun violence in the streets. For more hard-hitting news coverage from the community, by the community, I'm Janquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News 17.
And cut.
All right, dog. Let's get the out of here before these niggas come back.
Whoa. Yo.
Whoa.
Ain't that nigga J?
Nah, that ain't me. That ain't me.
He just went live
That
with
ain't
that
me.
funky ass suit
That's
on.
that nigga. That's not me.
Hey, get that nigga.
Janquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia. Pray for me.
Another week in Texas.
Then we heard shooting, and then we got scared, and everybody started crying.
Another group of children dealing with an active shooter.
I was praying to God just so nothing will happen.
This time in Duncanville at the city's field house during summer camp. More than 200 kids ages 4 through 14 horrified after a man armed with a pistol entered through the front door and opened fire after he was met by a staff member.
Our dispatchers.
So he was armed with a pistol. You mean he didn't have an AR-15 and he could have committed a super deadly assault on kids without a rifle?
Advised that shots had been fired.
After a single shot, police say children and counselors sheltered in place. Little Autumn here hid in a men's bathroom with others.
They just told us to stay quiet.
Meanwhile, the gunman's still moving through the building. Police say he tried to enter a locked classroom and fired a shot into it when he couldn't get in.
There were children inside. Fortunately, no one was injured.
The man was eventually killed by officers in the gym during an exchange of gunfire. Parents and kids visibly emotional as they reunited after it all.
Sympathize with other people, but until you get a phone call or a message that is something similar happening to you, you really don't know.
Did she say similar? Look, spell similar in the chat for me, please. Spell it. But no, seriously, I mean, what she said was valid. You see this happening to other people, but then when it happens at your front doorstep, it hits different. And you're more appreciative of the police officers. You're more appreciative of the first responders. And you're just happy that your kid, you know, did not become a victim of a super gremlin on demon time.
Sympathize with other people, but until you get a phone call or a message that is something similar happening to you, you really don't know.
The biggest unanswered question right now, motive. Why did this gunman go inside the field house? Did he know anybody there, any staff members? Did he know any children that were inside? Duncanville PD not telling us anything right now. All they would say is that they have not dealt with this suspect before.
Officials not releasing the name of the suspect yet either. Camp is canceled here until further notice. But something to note, the field house is city run, so no school resource officers or cops regularly guarding it. But will that change?
And so we consistently look at ways to enhance our security.
City officials taking a hard look. In Duncanville, I'm Matt Howard.
We now know the gunman who opened fire at a Duncanville summer youth camp before being shot to death by police had a very lengthy criminal record. Hello, I'm Steve Eager.
Hello, everybody.
Shocking.
I'm Heather Hayes. Police say he was 42-year-old Brandon Ned. This is a mugshot from a 2011 arrest. While no one was physically injured, yesterday's shootout at the Duncanville Fieldhouse left students and counselors emotional. Fox 4's Alex Boyer has more on Ned's background and also, Alex, how the camp organizers truly work to protect.
And let me ask you guys this in the chat if you're watching the premiere, and thank you guys who are watching the premiere. I'm on thin ice with YouTube, so I don't know how long I'll be here, man. But hopefully I'm here to stay. But I try and do my best to make these videos for you guys. But who heard about this? Okay, who heard about this story? If you're in the chat right now watching, did you hear about this story? It's like none of these stories even get highlighted, man. So if you want to see more stories like this, make sure you check out BGZM News 17, my other channel. No commentary, so you don't have to listen to me the whole time. But It's getting rough out here, y'all.
Those children.
Yeah, that's right, guys. You know, Ned does have, as you mentioned, an extensive criminal history. It includes a conviction for intoxication manslaughter, which put him in prison for a brief moment in time. We also know that he was arrested and convicted of a felony drug charge. We still don't know the motive for the shooting this afternoon. I did have a chance to speak with the sister of the guy who runs this summer camp, as well as a witness who ran by to help. This is the man police say walked into the Duncanville field house Monday morning as summer camp was underway and started shooting. He's 42-year-old Brandon Ned, a convicted felon.
It just messed me up. It messed me up. And my heart go out to all the family to cheering that it's safe and sound.
William Burse was washing his car nearby yesterday when he heard the gunshots. He ran over to see if he could help. Duncanville police officers were already on scene. He encountered two scared camp counselors.
My heart was beating so fast, and the two young ladies, as they were standing, they thought I was had something in my hand, but unfortunately I didn't. I was trying to come to help and stuff.
Oh, my bad. I was on mute, y'all. But nah, looks like he came, jumped into action, was trying to do what he could, but the police were already on it, man, so shout out to them.
Ned, who investigators say was armed with a handgun, was shot and killed inside the gymnasium during an exchange of gunfire with responding Duncanville police officers. No one else was hurt.
The staff handled him very well, got him all safe on the bus and everything.
Ned is no stranger to law enforcement. This is his mugshot from a 2011 conviction for intoxication manslaughter. He was also convicted for cocaine possession. A motive for the shooting remains unclear, along with the question of how Ned obtained a handgun. According to Duncanville police, approximately 150 kids and staff were inside the field house at the time of the deadly encounter. Donna Pearson's brother runs the camp. Fox 4 highlighted his work as a coach back in 2016.
Got here, briefly spoke with him. He said that the kids were okay. They went into active protective mode.
She says Coach Pearson, as the kids call him, was relieved no one was hurt. The campers and counselors hid inside locked classrooms, which prevented Ned from getting inside. Detectives say Ned tried to access a classroom but couldn't. He shot through the door, but no one was hit by the bullet. Parents praising Coach Pearson's actions. His sister says he's a born leader who stayed calm under pressure.
Staff and kids were fine. They were securing the premises.
And the Texas Rangers are leading this investigation. The field house remains closed for the summer camp, but I can tell you today here at the rec center, we have seen several parents and kiddos coming in and out of there. I'm told that they're meeting with grief counselors.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, in school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.